Welcome to the family with
Host Catherine Brandt,
Doug Sprinthal,
and Cassie Schrader sitting in for Andy Bernard.
and Alex too.
that was not a very good impression.
that sounded more like Mickey Mouse.
It really did. There's no question about that. No getting around. I've been wanting to click on this story all day, but I wanted to wait until you guys got here because I want to get before I click on it, I want to get your opinion on what they might be. The most boneheaded mistake people are making in job interviews. What would be the number one stupid thing to say in a job?
If anybody said I'm a people person, I would tell them to
Oh, it's even worse than that.
Oh, it is? It's worse than that?
I read an article yesterday about Delta Airlines just opened up for flight attendants. Haven't done it in 3 years, and they're carpet bombed with stuff. And they had to send out an email saying, please wear appropriate underwear.
What does that mean?
What?
Well, I guess I'm guessing it's women showing up with, bras on and no shirt or something.
Why would they do that?
I think we're going to probably learn more in the story, but
All right. So we got I'm a people person. We got not wearing
naked chicks.
And what do you got, Kathy?
Somebody is just one word answers like no, duh,
no.
bro.
All right, I'm clicking on it. Here we go,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. Of all the career tips we've seen, this might be the most boneheaded. Somebody talked to the CEO of a hiring platform who's interviewed thousands of people in her career, and she's seen in a new trend recently. Her top advice for people who want to land a job is Google what the company does before you show up for the...
Oh.
You can't be that stupid.
Oh.
well, with AI, people can carpet bomb job resumes.
Oh, I
all
suppose.
the time.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. She says job candidates are arriving less prepared than ever, and it's common now for people to show up knowing literally nothing. Researching what a company does used to be advice she only gave young people, but she says even a lot of folks interviewing for senior level positions need to hear it now. Doing more research than that is even better, but at least know the basics like what the company does. Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, I worked for a startup company for a bit, and I had to do a lot of interviews, and I did job postings on like Indeed. Nobody reads the description of the job.
Right.
Really?
They're like, is it commission only? I'm like, yeah, it says it in the commission only pay. Oh, well, do I have to work full time? No, it says in there it's a yeah, and I had to interview these people. I'm like, and oh my God, they're just dumb. They're just dumb.
I have a pro tip because I was in the same spot as you for a couple of years, and most people were pretty cool about it. But you can get an email address for free. So if your normal email address is Big Butt Daddy 66, don't put that on a resume.
No, I would have to agree.
Gargle Girl 47. It's like,
Yeah,
no,
I
how
saw
about
those.
Catherine Johnson 49? That's fine.
Works for me. No question about it. No question about it. Okay, so another one I want to run by. This is a question I have, and you can't look it up. No cheating.
Okay.
We would never cheat.
After 78 years, Tupperware is going bankrupt.
No way.
It is going bankrupt. Why is it called Tupperware?
Oh, that I have no
I think
clue.
it's named after the guy, like David Tupper or something like that.
Yeah,
His name is Tupper, and it's not David, though.
Okay, who would know?
You're very
his
close.
first
Yeah,
name.
I mean, I would guess.
You got the
same
Tupper
thing.
part right. It's
it
Tupperware
where?
because of Mr. Tupper. Yeah, where Tupper. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Name is Earl Tupper.
Earl.
That's a good. Hey, my buddy Earl Tupper's coming over. What's funny about that is that it's been around for 78 years, so it was around, but we never had Tupperware at the house. That was for rich people, apparently.
Yeah,
Rich
you would
people.
Cool Whip cans.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But for some reason, my brother Todd, when he was born, my father started calling him Tupper, and I never understood why he did
It was
that.
Tuppy.
And then it was Tuppy,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Tupper, then it was Tuppy, then it was Tuppen Tup, which I've never understood. I don't know what the hell that
Sometimes
meant.
things just happen.
I was mine
Like
mine was
Bop.
brilliant. Mine was Tomer. Oh, really? Tomer? That's what you come up with? Why don't you go with Tom Tom, just borrowed from the Native Americans?
I
How
was
about that?
thinking that maybe the reason why Tupperware is going out of business is because it lasts forever.
I think that is one of the problems.
Unless you lose a lid.
Well, I have not clicked on the story, so I'll click on it and see why they are going bankrupt.
And I think you can buy knockoff stuff from China for 4 cents on the dollar.
Well, and a lot
too.
of people are getting away from plastics, so they're buying.
Oh, yeah, I
Buying
suppose.
My wife
glass.
won't throw anything away, so
Oh.
I have to put it. So we've got like hundreds of containers,
Yeah.
which is great, except for where's the top?
Yeah, where's the top?
Oh, the
Exactly.
tops. Yes. They're with the socks that get lost
Yeah,
in the
that's
dryer.
The once popular line of food storage containers was launched in 1946 by a guy named Earl Tupper. That's why it's called Tupperware. They've been struggling for years thanks to failing demand and more competition from off-brands sold on
Yeah,
sites
there you
like
go.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Tupperware was always sold as like a party thing, right? It was kind of like
I think
it was, and then you could find them in some retail stores, but I don't know why they wouldn't have gone on Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, they should.
Yeah, why didn't they?
Everybody should go on Amazon.
Back when they were only game in town, women would throw Tupperware parties, what you guys are talking about, and sold sets to their friends. It's going to be a problem, by the way. Tupperware is $700 million in debt.
Wow.
Ooh.
What do they think they are? Audacity?
Yeah, well, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said,
nothing in corporate world these days, is
Right.
it?
Did that company start in Massachusetts? Can you?
Tupperware.
I suppose I could look that up.
It doesn't say
For
so.
some reason, I
far.
think that's true, but
No, where did you think it started?
I thought it started in Massachusetts.
Well, that's probably true. It doesn't say anything of where Tupperware stock was only at $1.18 a share to start the week, but it fell to 50 cents when the bankruptcy news hit. The all-time high was around $90 a share. Ooh, that's
and
tough.
that's an old-timey brand name, so nobody's even going to want probably the brand name.
Tupperware.
Yeah, because I don't even know if
probably.
young people would know what it is.
Yeah. Well, it's
Probably
like one of those things, like when you say Kleenex,
Yeah.
you're talking about a tissue, but
Yep.
the Kleenex
Yep.
is the brand. So everybody calls like all their other storage containers, like Rubbermaid is big.
Yeah.
Things
yeah.
like that. We just all call it Tupperware. But look,
Ma-
unfortunately, they're not reaping the benefits of everybody saying Tupperware.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose that is right. No question about that. I just,
Yep, Massachusetts.
it is Massachusetts.
You're
Yeah,
just a
you
font
were
of
right. about
knowledge.
that. But
I'm just lucky today.
how did
I
you
had
know?
9 cups of coffee.
Oh, that'll do it.
How did you know that we went with the Cool Whip? Because it was a plastic bowl. With a
What?
plastic
Yeah, no,
lid
they're
on it.
awesome.
We did.
I still use them.
Alex is here. Came
Tra-la.
strolling in.
I can see my
Picture days,
grandma's leftover cranberries from Thanksgiving sitting in a Cool Whip. I can
You can
picture it in my
picture it?
mind.
No, it's what
And
it was.
country crock.
Country
Oh, yeah,
crock. That was
country
another one.
country
Was
crock.
that butter?
It was
Well, it's margarine. It has nothing to do with
that's
butter.
right. Yeah, that's right. It's margarine.
Yeah. She just comes in with some butter
Why do you have butter?
because it's your daughter.
Oh, it's my daughter, not
random
yours.
thing of butter.
That is a little odd, Alex.
A tiny bit weird.
Oh yeah. Sorry, you got to put on mic.
You got to put her mic
Thank
on.
you.
You can
There
put
she
it in
is.
I
coffee.
had-
That's a thing. now.
That's been a thing. No, I had to do a Target pickup order on the way here, and there was butter in the order, but it's too warm to leave the butter in the car.
Well, why don't you put it in the refrigerator?
'Cause she'll
It's
forget
fine.
about it.
It'll be fine. Yeah,
It'll
and
be
I'll
fine here.
absolutely I will forget about it. Yes.
Oh yeah, you probably forget it in there.
So
then.
yes, I just will have it right next to me and hopefully not forget it.
I've been waiting for you to get here for your mom to tell you a story about what happened last night when we took Jude out for a walk.
What?
Oh.
Unbelievable.
Well,
What do you
isn't
do?
that
Now, first of all,
exciting?
you got to start with what Ethan said.
It's not.
We've already
What?
talked
You already
about
told
that.
me this.
Oh, we did tell you that.
Yeah.
Yes.
We already went
That
through.
sounds
That's
excellent.
Terrific. That's terrific.
That's terrific.
Or, that's terrific. That sounds terrific. Or that's
I-
terrific.
2.5-year-old using terrific.
Terrific. Okay, so
Myself.
Nana has to tell Alex about
Okay.
taking Jude for a walk last
What
night.
happened?
Every evening we take Jude out for his evening constitution, right?
Evening constitution.
And he just all of a sudden it was like a bullet down the other way. We hardly ever go that way because it's crowded and there's more traffic.
Well, we never go straight across the street either.
Unless
It's to
we're
the
going
left
to
or the
a
right.
restaurant or something.
Yes.
All of a sudden, he just led us over to McCormick's Pub.
You wanted to go to McCormick's.
And he just jumps in the front door like, we're going here, right?
He did.
So of
Like,
course we
what?
sat down and I had a glass of wine and we had an appetizer and
And they're like, sure.
Everybody that comes by kneels down or kind of goes down on their haunches and pets him,
they're
tells him
very
how
nice to him.
beautiful he is. He
Yeah.
goes right to McCormick's.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Oh my
And
God.
the other day he ran to the barber shop because they give him
Oh.
They give him treats. So,
What's the
Yeah.
name of the barber shop that you go to? Hey,
what
they
is
got a
the name?
haircut out of it because you went in and there was a guy sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah.
And I was, and they're like, well, have a haircut now. Because you said, I really need a haircut.
So
and
I
then he's
got-
like,
I gotta get mine.
so
and
I
then all of a
sat
sudden he's
down.
like, okay, I guess I'll go in and get
What the hell is the name of that barber shop?
one milk bone equals
I drive by the sign.
They're big listeners. Both, I
They've
think all
been
three
in
of them.
Wayzata
Forever.
forever.
Well, the guy
Barbers
used to-
in.
Barbers
in. There you go.
and
That's
they're
it.
very nice people. They've got sort of limited hours. I don't think they're open at night, but
They're open. They close at 4.
I would say close at 4.
Yep. But,
But
Yeah,
you
there's
know
a
what?
little sign right as you're driving into Wayzata.
You know where the owner came from?
no,
He was the personal barber for all the people at what's the name of that big corporation out there again?
Cargill.
Cargill.
personal
every-
barber.
A personal barber for everybody who worked at Cargill.
Oh,
No, that's
They
cool.
have like a
it's
little
an executive
salon
barber.
in there or something.
They
They're
must
open
have,
from
yeah.
6 to 4, Tuesday through Friday, and then
Yep.
Saturday 6 to noon. Close Sunday, close Monday.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, a little bit of
little bit of
Barbers
running
are
hours.
always
Confusing
closed
hour.
on Monday.
Do they
Why
do
did
shaves and all that stuff, or
Yes.
is it just?
oh yeah,
Yep.
it's a barber shop.
Well,
Have you ever had a
know.
shave at a barber shop?
No.
I would be nervous to do that. It's probably from watching all the mafia movies and the westerns where people get
Yeah,
offed in the
exactly.
barber chair.
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands.
You know,
It's
I think it
Sweeney
would be
Todd
very,
too
very
many
bad
times.
for business if barbers in.
I know, but it's just
That would not be good.
not all
yeah.
fear has to be rational, right?
That's true.
Ooh, I like that. Not all fear has to be rational.
Most fear
Most
isn't
fear is not
rational.
Yeah, so our
I
week
had a-
was a 2-year-old saying that's terrific, and then our dog saying, "No, we're not going for a walk.
Going
we're
to
going to
McCormick's.
McCormick's."
So go to the bar.
Oh, and then he tried to go over to Pura Lima too.
Yeah, you want to go to
He's like on the
Pura Lima
way
too.
back.
Oh
He's
my
like,
gosh.
it's like, don't
It's
you want a
restaurant tour.
margarita? Margarita, little
It's
chips?
restaurant tour.
You have like a lassie on your hands, but it's not to help others; it's to help himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Get a little
I'll get
morsel
food
of
if we go
Just
Yeah.
needs
here.
a bowl of beer.
He would.
I got
drink
to
a
ask
bowl
you
of beer
guys
as
this
well.
For sure.
because this headline just popped up again today, and I didn't think it was true, but it is. This psychopath that tried to assassinate Donald Trump.
Mhm.
He kept a horse in his house.
He's a weird.
yeah.
Obviously, anybody that tries to assassinate a president, is
Or
not-
anybody, yeah.
or
Or
anybody.
anybody for that matter.
But yeah, this
He
dude
had a horse in
seems-
his house.
In his house.
That
How do
seems
you-
like a very bad decision.
Yeah, what do you even? What?
How? A miniature horse?
Just destroying everything
Well,
Yeah,
all the time. I mean, a horse.
the
Oh, maybe
name.
tied it up to a doorknob.
The neighbor of the failed Trump assassination attempt suspect, Ryan Routh, claims that he kept a live horse inside of his home. And Kim Mungo talked about it, her former neighbor and would-be assassin. Oh, yeah, so it's all audio, but I don't think I should, because if I click on audio, it'll sound terrible.
God knows what will actually.
You know, Saturday
Uh-huh.
Night Live nailed this 35 years ago. Remember when Eddie Murphy played Gumby and somebody
yeah.
took a shot at him?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
It was Nightline News that there's Gumby assassinated. We interviewed the neighbors. Well, what was he like? Oh, he's a really good guy. Do you ever talk about shooting Gumby? Oh, yeah, I talked about it all the time.
There it is. Well, I criticized your buddy Howard Stern on the
My buddy Howard
Your
Stern.
close
How
pal.
did he become my
Buddy.
friend?
but apparently
That
he.
guy's wackadoodle too these days.
Oh God,
He's turned into a
lost it.
pretty good interviewer, though, of like
Has he?
musicians. I think some of his long form music
Okay.
interviews, because he does his homework, which is kind of
Oh,
refreshing.
okay.
But anyway, he's not my buddy.
But he said basically on his show that he doesn't like Donald Trump, but he doesn't hate Donald Trump, but he does hate anybody who'd vote for Donald Trump. It's like
Well, I'm
what?
glad that he's got his priorities.
A little bit of
sorted
fence
out.
sitting there, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little fence sitting there, Howard. Yeah. So
Ugh.
I just went on for a few minutes about how he got his ass handed to him in this market, but other than that, everything's good. Yeah,
I seem to remember that.
you did seem to remember that.
Wasn't this guy? What's his name? Ruth.
Routh, yeah.
Didn't he like go to the Ukraine to fight for
Yes.
Ukraine, and he was
And
trying
they kicked him out.
He
said
actually
was too
went
nuts.
there.
Oh yeah, and they said you got to go because you're too nuts.
I read something
Oh my
that
gosh.
he says that he makes 3,000. He lives on $3,000 a month.
A month, yes.
How is he flying to the Ukraine? You can't get a train. You can't get a slow boat to the Ukraine for less than what, 1,000. There's no
I
way.
wouldn't think so.
You're flying
yeah.
to the Ukraine and back and forth from where does he live? California.
We lived in Hawaii most
He
recently.
lived in Hawaii most recently, but
How's
then
he
he came back.
flying to
Yeah, how?
West Palm Beach? How's he doing
Yeah,
all this stuff
yep.
on $3,000
It's
a
that
month? You gotta
George
wonder.
Soros money.
Yeah, he's got
has
the
to
big
be what
George
it is.
Soros money. Yeah, there
I
you go.
don't know.
Soros probably
it's
paid
odd,
for his
though.
deal.
Yeah, it is odd.
It's odd.
The whole thing is so odd. Why would this guy go off? First of all, I don't understand something. He's a very thin guy, but when he had his shirt up over his head when he was walking backwards, they said, "Pull your shirt down." He pulls his shirt down. He's thin as hell, except for he's got big old giant titties. What? Why would that happen?
Big
Say that
old
word.
giant.
Why do you have to
titties.
talk like this?
We just need to change the name of the podcast from the family to the Big Old Giant Titty Hour.
No, but I mean, why? Where would he's thin as a rail?
We'll
Where
go
did they
great
come
on
from?
social. Trust me with this one.
Yes.
Yeah, I suppose
Look
you're
at them
right.
titties.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of men that just have boobs, and they're not fat.
They do have.
Really?
There is a condition that men can get where they
Yes.
can kind of grow
Oh, I didn't
small
know that.
breasts. It's like a hormone thing.
Oh, okay.
I
Um,
think that's called. God, no. Why isn't Andy here?
Well, if you have
He would know.
Gynomastia.
Yes.
Oh, gynemastia.
that's
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
Well,
Gynemastia.
yeah, and if you have too much estrogen in your body, you can develop more breast
Oh,
tissue.
so I
as
didn't
a
know any of
man.
that stuff.
Yeah, that's why men shouldn't have too much soy. Because I
Oh,
guess
really?
soy can do
But
that.
I'd like to know
From
how
what
the
I've heard.
So
Japanese
that
get away with
explains
eating
all the
soy
big
nonstop.
boob Japanese men. Wait a minute. Soy?
How do Japanese men get away with eating soy all the time?
I don't know. They're tiny though.
They're small, and they don't. I've not seen a lot
They're
of
small and-
Probably
Japanese
not
men with boobs.
They're small and perky.
No.
Berkey. Yeah, that guy, my God.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell he had going.
But to get shot at twice in a couple of months, or potentially the second time,
Yeah.
and
Uh,
Trump
Wait,
came out.
Is it surprising? I
he
mean,
makes
when
me
you're-
laugh sometimes. The stuff he says. I think yesterday he said they only try to shoot at consequential presidents.
There. Wait a minute. See, now that's
No,
funny.
it is
I mean,
funny,
that's
actually.
Funny.
Spin doctor.
Jesus, pal. Yeah, apparently the guy got there at 1:50 in the morning and was there for 12 hours.
Yeah, it's like a Wisconsin deer opener.
Yeah, exactly.
He was in a deer stand just waiting.
He got his deer stand waiting for the
Well,
former
what's
president.
interesting
Put on
too
my
is
goal scent.
it wasn't. It wasn't on his schedule to go golfing that day. How did?
No, it was not.
He was just going to sit there forever,
I don't know,
waiting
but
for him to maybe go golfing.
I would think that a Sunday at Mar-a-Lago's pretty good chance that he's gonna. He plays a fair amount of golf.
he
Yeah, but, I
does.
mean, how would you know? I mean, I don't know.
I'm just
On the
glad
off,
he didn't do it a
off
couple
chance
years
I'm not
ago.
flying across the country, sitting by a fence.
Yeah, but you also
Hoping
don't
that
have
he
a.
might-
You don't think it's a good idea to have a horse in your home
Well,
either.
that's-
And you actually
I'm not
used to
thinking
own
clearly.
horses.
I'm clearly not thinking right.
What would be honestly the reason to leave a horse in your house?
Because
You're
you're
a
nuts.
Because you're just crazy.
Yeah.
Would he sit on top of it and watch TV or something?
It
I mean,
was a couch.
Well,
Is it a full-sized horse?
I don't know.
Didn't
Any
say.
sort of horse would be a bad idea.
Well, yeah, miniature horse. I'd be like,
They pee out gallons
Yeah,
of water. a day.
gallons. and their poop is humongous.
Even a
Gigantic.
little horse gives a
And
lot of
the hooves on your
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
And
one more thing about Jude before we move on.
Oh,
He was horrified during the walk because a dog had pooped on the sidewalk and he almost stepped in it. And he was like,
It's like, oh my God, there's poop on the sidewalk. Jumps over it.
he did. He
Such a
was
city dog.
appalled.
Such a city dog.
He was appalled. There was poop on the
My
sidewalk.
dogs see so much coyote poop
Oh, I suppose.
all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah, you must
They
have
pee on it.
1,000 coyotes in there.
So many coyotes.
This is my yard.
Lately on Instagram, I've been posting in my stories every day that I run and walk the dogs, all the dead stuff that I see.
Oh,
Oh, is it the
God.
coyotes?
No, just squished by a bike or,
Oh.
like today, there was a tiny baby snapping turtle on
Aw.
the path. I was walking the dogs this morning and I was like, oh, I'm going to take a picture of it. And I was like, it's dead.
No.
I poked at it with my foot to make sure. I was like, "Are you alive?" And it
Somebody
was not.
must have run over
Somebody
it?
must have run over it. Yeah.
Ah.
But yeah, they're
Turtle.
constantly there's innards of tiny animals because of coyotes. There's
Oh yeah.
dead birds. There's squished frogs, just all the time. There's like a wing. One time, Brittany and I were out for a run. There was a whole deer leg on the side of
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Just a leg.
Hold your
Brittany
leg.
probably put it
I know. Brittany was like, "Ah!" I was like, "Yeah."
Robert Kennedy Jr. must have been in town.
Yeah. Yeah. That
We-
was that a deer too?
No, it was a bear.
It was a bear. That's right. It was a bear.
There's a little girl that moved into our neighborhood that lived in apartments before moving into our neighborhood.
Mhm.
And she's befriended Fawn and Sage. And she came on a walk with Fawn and me like probably a week ago. Took the dogs for a walk in the woods. Every single sound, she was like, "What's that?" And then there was a dead mouse, and like every single thing we passed by, she freaked out. Fawn was like, "Oh, it's just a mouse. Just walk around it. Oh, that's just squirrels playing in a tree. Oh, that's probably just a bird." Like she just was like, "It's fine." And then the girl was like, "Hi, what is it?" Oh, she was so freaked out. It's like, "Welcome to the woods."
Let's go down Snake Trail.
Yeah, I'm like, this is you. Yeah, constantly. Well, people always say, "Oh, when you're walking outside or going for a run, you should look kind of up
No.
towards the horizon so you can take in the beauty of nature." I'm like, I have to make sure I'm not going to step on a snake.
Yeah.
How many times do I have to leap over dead stuff or a snake going by?
It's like a
All the
gauntlet.
time. It is. Every single time I walk through the woods to get to the path, I have to brush spider webs off my face. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is,
Yeah, nature's
we
great.
got a heads up. I know. I've been doing like magical moments in nature. Dead bird. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Poor
funny.
little birdie.
It's glamorous. I don't know. This was on, I think, Sunday when I went for my long run. And I was like, I think it's dead. But it was weird because it was sitting on the side of the trail and it was like puffed up, like
The bird?
sitting. Yeah. Like, you
Oh.
know,
A whole bird.
a whole bird, but it looked kind of rough.
Yeah. Might
And
have
it
been
wasn't-
attacked by another bird, maybe.
I
or
know. I was like,
something.
maybe it's stunned. Maybe it's, I was like, do I do, like,
Just leave
should I
it.
do? I was like, I'm
Always
just going to
just
leave
leave
it.
it.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think I can do anything for you.
No.
Because it wasn't moving. And I was like, it might be dead. It might be stunned.
No, you've got a baby snake living in your front yard, according to.
Oh, there's always snakes.
There's no doubt about
Because
it.
it startled me. It was a little one
Oh,
when
yeah.
we came over.
Yep.
And I said to Sage, I said, there was a snake in your front yard. He goes, oh, yeah, he lives under the hostas.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I got to run this by you guys because I don't know what the hell this even means. Third party candidate for CD2. What is CD2?
Congressional District 2.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it must be. Yeah, you're right.
Gee.
Recruited on Facebook by secretive group.
What?
Are we going to cheat on everything now? Is everything going to have cheating involved in it?
I think so.
I'm getting
That's
so
where we
sick
are.
of these people. Could we just put one person up against another person or whatever? Could we just be honest for a minute?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not possible anymore, is it? Patriots Run Project sought far-right Donald Trump supporters to run as third-party spoilers in competitive races. So it's both sides that are cheating again.
So who is running in that's Walz's old district, right? Too.
Oh, is it? Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it
probably
is.
true.
It's Mankato, southwestern
Oh,
Minnesota.
okay.
It's all that stuff.
I didn't even
Is that
know
when
who
is that where he left to fight in the war? Oh, that's right. He didn't go fight. Yeah. So it says here, oh my God, I wouldn't vote for this guy just by the way he looks. He's like a complete goofball.
Good big old giants.
Titties?
No, he does not. He does not. A third-party candidate running for Congress in the competitive 2nd Congressional District was recruited by a secretive group that has since been banned from Facebook for deception. Facebook never deceives anyone. Is that what they're saying? Tom Bowman, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does.
Admits he's politically outspoken on Facebook, so he wasn't surprised when the Patriots Run Project contacted him through social media earlier this year, asking some questions about my viewpoints. They then suggested those are good viewpoints, and did I ever consider running for office? I thought about it, and it seemed like a good idea. Well, so it's not a secret. Like,
Yeah.
why is this even a story?
I don't know. It seems kind of boring.
It sounded to me like they were trying to cheat, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
I mean, and if you can run, then that's not cheating.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a
See,
story.
once again, our news is so bad in this country
I
now.
wish one of my
It's
brothers would have
unbearable.
run for some sort of office so he would stop talking about politics. It's like, just become a politician. Please.
Yeah, he should have. You're
Just
right.
become one.
You're absolutely right. And I got to add one more thing I got to throw out from the news. Alex, this is mostly for you because you used to live over there.
Oh boy.
Winter Carnival moves Grand Day Parade to Grand Avenue. I thought it was always on Grand Avenue.
It was downtown.
No, I think it's downtown
It was
usually.
on-
Oh, that's right,
right in front of
St. Paul
7th Street or
Hotel.
something like that.
Yeah, the winter one is always
That's right.
downtown, like by Rice.
So why would they be moving it to Grand Avenue?
Barrio closed. It has to be it.
That's it. Yeah, Barrio
They
closed
need-
over
Yeah,
there.
we
Tequila.
talked
Vulcans
to
need
Ryan
tequila.
about that. He said that there's just no foot traffic over there anymore. Well,
Hmm.
Rice Park's been kind of taken over by drug addicts.
It's nice when there's a Saints game, then Lower Town is
Yeah.
just rocking. The
Yeah.
rest of the time, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, my favorite video I've ever seen, and it was, I don't know how it got circulated, but my buddy Henry, you know which Henry I'm talking about, might be a golfer.
Oh,
Winkler?
that guy.
Yes, Henry Winkler. That's exactly right. There was a video of him walking along by Rice Park.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, and he's going over to tables and throwing people's tables on the sidewalk and knocking stuff over. And he finally gets you could see, and I didn't know this happened. All of a sudden I see Henry, and the guy's walking toward Henry's table, and Henry stands up and the guy goes to sleep. Let me put it that way.
Boom.
That was right out of Tulsa King, the first episode.
Absolutely. That's right out of Tulsa.
What's the matter with that guy? Well, he's taking a nap.
He's taking a nap. Catherine and I watched the first episode this
We
year.
did too,
It's
last night.
phenomenal.
Oh, and Alex, you'll like this new show. What's it called again with Nicole Kidman? The new
Project.
one? No.
Oh, Perfect Couple.
Perfect Couple. Yeah,
It's
Perfect
one of
Couple.
those
Oh,
like
God.
Nicole Kidman ones. Where
Yeah.
she's
It's a murder
like the
mystery
same.
with
Yeah.
really wealthy people that are horrible.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like Big Little
the one-
Lies.
like Big Little Lies.
Yeah.
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 So you would
Is it
probably
like
it.
another book?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
another TV
Oh, maybe.
adaptation of one of her
I don't
books?
know. I
Could
could
be.
look. It sounds like it could be.
Well, no. Did Taylor Sheridan write that?
Yeah.
He produced
Yes, I
everything.
think,
He
yes.
produced it. I know
Does
that.
that guy ever sleep? My God.
He's busy. There's no question about
He
that.
must just have ideas running through his head at all times.
What's what, Alex?
What is the perfect couple on?
Netflix.
You can watch
Netflix,
it on
yeah.
TV.
Yeah, it's on
It's-
TV. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a book.
Yeah, by
Elin Hilderbrand.
and back
So
in
it's different.
2018.
Yeah. It's different than the one who wrote Big Little Lies.
Oh, okay.
And then the other one that she was in.
Does
Yeah,
I
Nicole
read both of
Kidman
those
option
books.
these things, or does she just get cast because she's so good at being the
Uppity.
uppity?
I
yeah.
think I think she doesn't she have like her own production company
Yeah,
too?
she
Probably
does, yeah.
does.
Yeah.
She also changes her face so
All
much.
the time.
She
She
does.
looks completely
I know.
different.
I didn't know this, but KB2, Kristen Burt told us this morning, you have never seen her real hair. She always wears wigs.
Always.
Always, apparently in movie, when she's in a movie or TV show or whatever, that's not her real hair.
So when she's on a red carpet event, is that her real hair?
I guess not.
Really?
Yeah, she just
Maybe she's
doesn't.
got really nasty hair.
Maybe she's got maybe.
Maybe
It's a
she's bald.
possibility. Yeah, I just thought that was rather interesting, though, that she, because it's always kind of blonde and curly, isn't it? Her hair.
Yeah.
It's like
She
strawberry
goes
blonde.
from strawberry blonde to
Yeah.
blonde versions of blonde. I don't think I've ever seen her as a brunette, but she's probably been a brunette.
It's always like reddish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
on shows. Did you guys watch Colin from Accounts?
No.
It's a really cute Australian kind of romantic comedy series about the opening scene. This guy is staring at this woman rocking in front of him and inadvertently hits this dog.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so they started a relationship together. They adopt the dog and they call him Colin. But it's cute. I mean, it's
Colin,
I
what's the
think
name?
It's
Colin
either
what?
Colin from Accounts. It's either Australian or from New Zealand. It's
We
Oh,
like
yeah.
a lot
It just came out
we
with a
like a lot
second
of New
episode.
Zealand and
We do.
Australian productions.
no, it's really well written. There's no shooting. There's
Oh,
no. I know it's very un-American. It's kind of hard to
Yes.
stick with a
Yeah.
plot.
I'm very glad that we're done with Mayor of Kingstown because I'm like,
That's a
Oh.
little
I-
violent. Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, you have to see what's going to happen because you know
Yeah.
it's going to be bad, but you can't even fathom how bad things get.
It is
And
really
I'm glad it's over. I'm glad to take a break from that. You can
So
use
try
some
calling
light,
from
happy
accounts.
things.
That'll be a good
Yes, yes.
palate cleanser.
There's a
Okay.
cute little show for the kids, Man versus Bee.
Oh
It's Mr.
God.
Bean,
Okay.
the guy that plays Mr.
Yeah.
Bean all the time. He's babysitting a house,
Okay.
and a bee gets in the house, and all kinds of trouble ensues.
Oh,
and
dear.
it's only like 7 to 9 minute episodes.
No.
I think the kids would love.
Sounds
Yeah,
perfect.
kids would definitely like
Mr.
it.
Oh, God,
Bean.
yes.
I love Mr.
Although-
Yeah,
Bean.
what's
My
his real
kids are-
name?
Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
My kids feel very differently about bees than most children.
But
do.
it's funny.
They'd be like, "Why is he running from the bee?
Yeah.
The bee is gentle."
But
He is gentle.
let me just say the bee comes out on top.
Always.
we were at the state fair, and there's a cotton candy place that doesn't have any food coloring in it. So we always get like a couple different ones, and we all share one or share them. And there's bees all over
Of course.
because it's cotton candy.
Oh God, yeah.
Let me
And-
just ask you a question. So you're fine with them eating cotton candy, which is basically just sugar, but the food
Yeah.
coloring is the bad thing.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
food
all right.
coloring's like illegal in Europe, like artificial
The
food
stuff that we
coloring.
use, yes.
Yeah,
we're-
it's like linked to cancer and stuff.
But
And also,
straight
like,
sugar is apparently something
well,
else.
sugar is
sugar is
actually-
part of
you,
like,
you need sugar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually.
Just check.
and it's not like they eat cotton candy all the time. This is like the one time a year they eat
That's
cotton
not what
candies at
I've
the
heard.
state
Get
fair.
a little defensive there. Huh?
Anyway, and so we were at the cotton candy place, and we were with another family with two kids that have an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old, 11-year-old boy, 8-year-old girl. And there were bees all over, and the other two were just like freaking out. A bee landed on Fawn's hand, and they're like, "There's a bee on your hand." And she was like, "I know."
It's
You
fine.
freak out over
Well, I was
bees.
stung by a wasp.
Mm-hmm.
2 summers ago. I found out I'm allergic to wasp stings, so I swell up like a balloon.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened, I was on a run. It happened on my thigh, and it swelled up. It was horribly itchy, and it lasted forever. It took 3 days to swell to the full size of what
Oh,
it was. It was
yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm the
And
same
it
way.
was hot and painful and horrendous. And then 10 days go by, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go on another run again. In the same exact spot,
Oh no.
a bee or a wasp stung me twice in the ankle. My foot was humongous. And so now I'm weird about, like,
Yeah, because that's cumulative. The more you get stung, the worse the reaction.
Yes,
we had ground
exactly.
wasp in our backyard.
Yeah.
And that happened to me
It was-
10 years ago,
Yeah.
like 3 times one summer.
Oh.
I am not an animal.
well,
Yeah.
so I'm like,
those ground wasps
yeah,
are
that's,
really
and they were
aggressive.
ground wasps. They were living underneath like a garbage.
Yeah, they
that-
have little guards that
and you just
go
walk by,
Yep.
you run by them, and they just
They're-
attacked me.
Yeah.
I was like, I did nothing.
I remember we had a dog.
You need to take him to bee court.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
there
do.
you
I
go.
know. But that's why I'm weird around bees. Not bees, but wasps.
So if you
If
ran
it's-
really, really fast past the spot, would that work? Or
well, I run by it still.
oh,
Like, it took me a little bit of time to build up my courage because it happened
Sure.
twice,
Yeah.
you know, like, but
she's in a beekeeper suit.
actually, no.
Oh,
Oh, there was a garbage right by it, and I would throw the dog poop away. And that's what happened. I threw the dog poop away, and then I ran off. And then I think me throwing the dog poop away
Alerted
upset
them
them.
to over there.
And then they attacked me. So now I
Oh.
don't use that garbage anymore.
Oh.
Good
I'm
idea.
just like, I just can't, no. And there's
Yeah.
other garbages that are not too far away. So I'm like, that garbage I just do not do.
I got stung by a wasp in February inside my house during
weird.
a snowstorm.
Jesus.
I don't know how this wasp got in the house, but I
Wow.
was putting together
Weird.
my son's bed. And
Sounds like a paranormal episode.
Yeah,
You can tell your husband
I
about
think
that.
burn some sage.
You could
in
get
your
5
house
hours
there.
out of that.
like
Something
seriously, and it
weird.
stung me on my finger, and my finger swelled up like a hot dog.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my God. And then another time I was at my place of work, and I worked alone at night. And all of a sudden I kept hearing this buzzing sound. And I'm like, what the heck? And all of a sudden it caught the corner of my eye. It was one of those huge wasps that
Killer
have like
bees.
the skinny and then the butt. There's like a
Yeah.
skinny
Yeah,
line.
yeah, yeah. There's
That's
like,
what
yeah.
I think of as a wasp.
And
isn't
they're
it?
massive.
Yeah. Mhm.
And this thing was dive bombing me. I was the only body in the building, and it kept like I could hear it coming at me like a damn fighter jet.
Going
And I
home.
had a great outdoors moment. I put stuff on my head to protect my head. And then I was walking around with a broom and all this stuff. And I'm like trying to get this because he kept going on like top of vending machines and stuff. So I couldn't get him. I eventually got him. It took me 3 hours, but I was like at my desk trying to do my work. And this jerk sitting here trying to sting me and attack me while I'm working. So
remember we had Clayton, our Irish setter,
Yes.
out in Minnetonka, and I would chain him out in the morning out on the steps, and he liked just sitting there and watching the world go by. He didn't do anything. He didn't bark. He just liked to sit there. So I'm like, okay. Well, so he's out there, I don't know, day 10. All of a sudden, yipe! I go out. What's the matter? And he says, good to see you. I'm like, oh, okay. He must have stepped on something funny. Go back in. I hear him, yipe, yipe. I realize he's being stung by ground bees on his nose, which never did swell up, but I actually saw one come up because they were living under the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm lucky he didn't have an allergic reaction to
So I have a question. Did you choose the name
Clayton?
for the dog?
Yeah. Why?
And I was just curious. I've never heard of a dog named Clayton.
Because he was
Clayton and Chester.
Because he was reddish, and we were out at a softball field throwing balls at each other, and Clayton was laying on the path, which is cut the clay, and
okay.
we're like, Clayton.
Waiting.
That's how he got the name.
I should mention, by the way, the family-oriented little thing here, the Bee, the show that Rowan Atkinson is in. The episodes are between 9 and 11 minutes long.
Yeah.
So it's good for kids. It's very good for kids.
I'll look it up.
Yep, 9 to 11 minutes. So Rowan is incredibly good in it.
It's really funny.
I love Mr. Bean. My sister and I used to watch Mr. Bean all the time.
Yeah.
It was great. There wasn't really much dialogue.
No.
It was all just his physical comedy and his facial expressions, and it was just hilarious.
No, his facial expressions in this, the Bee, there's a lot of them.
And
I'll tell you that.
I love his like little sounds he makes too. He's like, and it's like, but you understand what he's trying to convey.
Yeah, it's true. No question about it. Does anybody have any interest in hearing the charges against Sean Combs?
Do we have time?
Oh, that's
Do we have
still,
time?
whatever
we have
ended
enough
up
time.
happening with
Well,
that.
he's finally getting.
He's in jail.
Yeah.
And the judge wouldn't let him out,
Nope.
awaiting trial. He
Yeah,
hasn't-
okay.
Yeah.
So I know all of a sudden there was just tons of police going into his home and arrested him and said that
They've
he had a bunch of
apparently
child
been
pornography.
investigating him
Child-
for
child-
a long
well,
time.
Trafficking. That didn't say child trafficking, but that's my guess.
I thought he was like child pornography and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and I think he's also getting charged with. Is he getting charged with racketeering too?
Let's see, Dad.
Federal authorities are
in.
charging Sean Diddy Combs with several
Diddy.
crimes, according to an unsealed indictment disclosed yesterday. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams listed all the charges. Later yesterday, Diddy pleaded not guilty. He's being held without bail. He cannot get out of jail.
Not guilty. That's
And
hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. There's that video of him beating the piss out of his girlfriend. I would like to kill him myself.
I know.
She's laying on the she's laying on the ground, knocked out. He's still kicking her in the
Is that
head.
the one?
What?
Yeah. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
dragged her out of an elevator.
Yep.
Yeah.
What the
It was all
hell?
on the security cameras.
What?
I don't think he ever went to jail for that.
No, I don't think he did. I think you're absolutely right about that. I don't think it did happen. He's being charged with sex trafficking. He's being charged with federal authorities are charging Sean Diddy Combs with racketeering, sex trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution, according to an unsealed indictment against him by U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York on Tuesday. The details of Combs' arrest indictment have been revealed after the music mogul, who was the subject of a sex trafficking investigation in a pair of federal raids earlier this year, was arrested in New York City on Monday. The indictment is 14 pages long.
Oh.
Yeah, when the feds have a dossier on you that long, you're done.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
from what I gathered, a lot of things. I don't know if it's considered extortion or is blackmail considered a crime? Like
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
because like what I guess he was doing too with a lot of his him being a music producer and stuff, he had a lot of, musicians and artists around him all the time. And I guess
Right.
at some of these parties, he would get, drug them so they were completely out of it or passed out.
Yep.
And he was putting these celebrities in compromising positions and taking videos and pictures. So that way he had collateral on them to hold over them so he can control their career.
Wonderful.
Okay. How much was he worth? I mean, he was making big bucks.
Oh,
He's
Big,
gotta
big,
be
big bucks.
$500 million, isn't he?
Probably.
Worth that?
I just-
yeah, as like a producer, because he hasn't been relevant in
No.
a while.
No.
Yeah.
No. But it's interesting because that show that we were talking about, it's on the Isle of Nantucket, right?
Oh, perfect couple.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect couple. And the guy that he was on Will and Grace. He was
Sean Hayes.
no, he's got a pointy nose. He was like the friend.
He was like the
I don't
friend.
know
Oh,
what
that
his
guy,
name
the
is.
gay guy.
The gay, well, he's always plays a very gay guy.
He
Oh,
knows,
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
Yep.
He says they're so rich, they're like private island child trafficking rich.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh,
so
boy.
that's now a category of rich?
Yeah, it's okay.
I was
Yeah,
like,
he did.
I don't like that line at all
Yeah.
because that makes it sound like it's something to aspire
Right.
to.
Yeah, you're
I didn't
right.
like
I
that
missed
line.
that. I didn't.
Oh, I
hear
was
that.
like, oh, that creeped me out.
I don't see anybody that looks familiar to me.
Yeah, you would.
No, you'd know the guy if you
You
saw
would
him.
for sure. know him.
Yeah. I'm going to look him up real
He
quick.
was
'Cause-
on Will and Grace a lot.
Whatever his IMDb picture doesn't look recognizable or something. I don't know.
Oh, he was also on Grace and Frankie, I think. Yeah, he was a friend of her husband's.
Yeah, he's really good.
I can't.
The hell of an
Oh, you want to know what? I just realized he was the shoe salesman in Curb Your Enthusiasm. Remember
Yeah,
that
yep,
episode?
actor. Yep.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, God, I know I've seen him in so much stuff,
He's
but
been in a lot of stuff.
yeah.
Have you seen the cops yet in that show?
The cops.
They're going to investigate.
Oh, no,
the
we've
crime.
just seen the first
I think they
episode.
show up in the second or third. There's a
Yeah,
woman there.
we've
You'll love her. She's just really
Oh.
funny.
Yeah. The cops are in the first one.
Yeah. So there's the black cop who
Yeah.
lives on the island,
Who was
and
in
then
Mayor
they
of
bring
Kingstown.
right, and then they bring
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
woman who's an
Yeah, yeah,
investigator.
yeah.
And she's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, she's a
Yeah.
riot. She's really
Yes,
funny, actually.
Yes.
And they wind up becoming pretty good friends at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
he
we've
said
only seen
this-
the first episode.
Ugh,
There's what, 6 episodes total?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about right.
6
Yeah.
or 7. The actor's name is Tim
Tim
Bagley.
Tim
Ah,
Bagley, there you go.
He wasn't
you know
even.
him.
He wasn't even in the. I looked up the perfect couple cast, and he wasn't even. in the
It does
pictures.
when you just Google that, it doesn't give you the full cast. You have to go to IMDb or some type of site. I know it's stupid.
weird.
Well, I was like, he must have been Larry from. All
Yes, he was.
Oh my God, the judge in the case said she was very significantly concerned about Combs' substance abuse and what appears to be anger issues. Yeah, I would
You
say
think?
so.
You
Kicking
know,
a woman in the face who's already knocked
he
out.
always had that face where
He did.
you know, I
yeah.
didn't know if he was trying to look smug or if he just had something boiling under there. I was always like, he looks kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
Scary, kind of scary mad underneath all the time.
I just love Dave Chappelle's skit that he did spoofing P Diddy.
Oh God, Dave Chappelle is funny as hell. Why did everybody turn on him all of a sudden?
Because
Well,
his
he went
brand
after
of
the
humor
he went after
wasn't-
the LGBT community pretty
Oh,
hard
did he?
a couple of years
Oh,
ago.
I
And
didn't
some
know
people
that.
called him out on that.
I did not.
And
know
he,
that.
he didn't really back down after that. but-
Oh, okay.
I mean, when he started talking about it, wasn't like he was being like degrading to the gay community. It was just like he's like up on stage. He's like, I'm confused here. Like, what is this LBGTQ? Like, he was just kind of having a set where he's like, okay, one day it's this, one day it's that. What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to call these people? It was kind of like that. I don't think he was really like.
Oh, so he didn't really go after people. Just the
No,
way-
it was just kind of like what all people say, like, okay, so this week it's this called this, but next week it's going to be called something else.
that
and
does happen.
and it's just like I'm confused, but it wasn't like he was like bashing. Really, I mean, I don't know why they were so hell bent on trying to cancel Dave Chappelle. I don't know. I didn't agree with
because
it.
he doesn't follow their rules, and he's very successful.
He lives by the beat of his own drum. He
Yep.
doesn't care.
People
And
hate that when you succeed without their
Yeah,
help.
look what Ricky Gervais gets away with. I
Oh
he-
my
he
God.
points out all of
I
this
love
crap.
Right?
him.
And they
He
have,
is
they
phenomenal.
haven't gone after him yet.
yeah, he is way worse than Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle.
Yeah.
I went to the Excel Center and I did the screening of the Dave Chappelle comedy documentary he did.
Mhm.
I don't even think it's been released in public, or you have to go to his site to watch it. But it was really, really cool. The documentary was fantastic. It was basically where he kind of, during COVID, he basically went and built like this amphitheater, like small amphitheater, and he was doing stand-up comedy in his hometown. He brought in Bob Saget. He brought, heavy hitters. I mean, it wasn't just like these local comedians, and they would just go up every I think it was like every weekend or something, and they would just have comedy.
So our good
Outdoors.
friend Alan Crutch lives in Bozeman, Montana.
Right. Yes.
I was out there visiting a year or so ago, and John Mayer, who's a very famous
Mhm.
electric guitar player,
Mhm.
lives out there, and he and Dave Chappelle are really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of times there's like a little bar, and they have outside seating on the grass for 200. John Mayer and Dave Chappelle do shows.
Really?
Wow.
Up in Paradise Valley, which is right outside of Bozeman.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's in during that concert or event that I was at. He also did, some stand up, and he had a surprise. All of a sudden, Justin Bieber ended up on stage. I don't know how that happened, but
Is he drinking?
no, what he does is he likes to go and like when he does his comedy tours, he likes to have like a music.
Yeah.
So Justin Bieber was picked to be in Minneapolis, but yeah, it was really cool. And he also has had, gay comedians come out and support him, but nobody's listening to him.
No.
They're just like, whatever.
And once you get on the list,
Yeah.
you're done.
I think he's not done. I think he's okay.
No, I mean, as far as those communities.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I just wish it wasn't so difficult and that the rules change every day. That's the part that I don't care for.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, you told me yesterday it was the exact opposite. Now today you're saying it's the other way. It's like, well, which one is it?
It's very confusing to be alive.
It really, right now, it is very confusing to be alive, and I don't understand what's going on with people, but such is life, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just
Go
my
buy
God.
a plot of land and start a garden.
And put a huge, about 20-foot fence around it.
Yeah.
That's
Keep
what
the deer out.
No, not to keep the deer out, to keep the people out. That's a much better argument, no question about it. I don't know. I am having it. Well, it was reported this morning that now 41% of the population of the United States is so stressed out and angry by what's going on right now in, the political world and the entertainment world, all the rest of it.
The
They're claiming people have never been more stressed out than they are right now.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
That's what everybody's pissed off at somebody.
Let me ask this question, because this comes up all the time, and I think throughout the course of history it has. When exactly were the good old days?
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
There's always problems.
Yes.
There's always strife. There's always
Yeah, there hasn't been a time where it's like, it's all
this is
copacetic.
awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
the
back in
anger
the
level
old
is
days, you
very
didn't
high.
hear about
That's
everything
true.
all the time. Social media definitely.
Oh yeah.
Cy
Well,
Amundsen
it
had
depends
the-
on your social media.
Cy Amundsen had the best line ever. He says, the problem with social media, it allows people to have press conferences
Yeah.
that shouldn't be allowed to have press conferences.
Yeah,
And it's
true.
like, you're right,
That's true.
Cy.
God, I haven't seen him in years.
Well,
How's
he's
he
living in
doing?
Ohio.
Oh, he lives in Ohio now.
Why
Okay,
Ohio?
why is that?
He's married, right? It
Yeah.
probably has to do with a girl.
Oh,
He has
I
some,
thought she was from here.
he was diagnosed with some,
Crohn's.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, yeah.
and like some weird arthritis thing
Yeah.
or something, wasn't it?
I think
Like a
I think it
bone
was
problem or something.
I think it was rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's nasty.
because I
Yeah.
reached out to him because he actually started taking Humira, which is what I take
Okay.
for my Crohn's. And I said, hey, buddy, if you need any assistance or help or advice or whatever, I'm here.
Yeah.
He's like, thank you. And but yeah, it's not a fun disease. I
No.
can tell you that. And and it's like more than likely the Crohn's caused the arthritis. That's what goes on with me.
Yeah, because that's a
Oh,
autoimmune
yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Rheumatoid
See,
arthritis.
right now I'm dealing with all that because I have Crohn's, and then I came down with rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia. Now now my labs just came back a week ago saying that I might be borderline lupus. And now I have to go get a spinal tap because they're checking for MS.
Goodness me.
Yeah, I'm collecting autoimmune diseases like Pokemon cards. So
Yeah.
got to catch them all. But yeah, so and with autoimmune diseases, they're very tricky to diagnose. And usually when you get one, you'll get another. So that, and he's got a long road that's going to suck at times. Trust me.
I wonder if that's, way, way back. When we first started the podcast and he was on ours all the time. He was constantly having horrible back pain. I wonder if that was the beginning of it.
Yeah, it might. We talked about that because he
kept
played
on
a
going
lot
to
of
the
basketball,
doctors.
and
But
he
kept
thought
going,
that triggered it.
Nothing seemed to help him.
Yeah, they're tricky because I've gone to a rheumatologist with. The last time I went, I found a new one because I did not care for this one. I was on prednisone for a month because I had such bad inflammation. So I got an appointment with the rheumatologist. Say, hey, do I need to do something here? Because obviously, this arthritis is getting out of control, and the Humira I take that is supposed to treat this isn't working. So he just looked at me and he's like, well, you don't really have any active inflammation. I'm like, well, yeah, because I've been on prednisone for a month. And he's like, well, there's really nothing I can do for you.
Oh, fun.
Really? That's your response to me. And I told my primary doctor, and he was so mad.
Yeah.
So mad. But yeah, they're just tricky, and you have to get tested at the right time in order to get the result that could, diagnose you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
Yeah. Sorry about all that.
Well, such is life. I'm going to be shriveled up in a wheelchair by the time I'm 60. Just feed me.
Hopefully they'll come up with more and more treatments to help.
Yeah. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm very happy that I'm on a path to getting the proper treatment that I need. That's what my goal is. I just need the proper treatment.
A good friend of mine, she came down with rheumatoid arthritis after she had a baby. Apparently that can just trigger it.
Yep.
Having a baby can trigger everything.
And hers
loss
was
of savings accounts.
Yeah. Hers was very aggressive. And what ended up happening with her, she would go on a treatment. It would work for about a year, sometimes 2, and then it would just stop working. Yep. So she would just keep on, having to change. She had gold shots. She had this, she had that. And finally, I think she's on something like you're on, and that's been helping her a lot. But apparently with rheumatoid arthritis, your treatments can just stop working altogether, and you just have to go on a new thing.
Well, here's a fun fact that I found out. If you're predisposed to MS, which they can't really test, but maybe there can be preventative things. But I found out that I probably have drug-induced MS, which means the Humira I'm taking for my Crohn's is causing me to have MS.
Yep.
So now I might have to get off of Humira. If I do have MS, I have to get off Humira. Now I'm going to have to find a whole new medication that's going to help with my Crohn, because the Humira is working great for my Crohn's. I've had that under control for a while. It's everything else. So it's just like, I'm
annoyed when I have to take a Zyrtec.
Hey.
I'm like,
I feel like I'm 90. I go and I go take my pills, and I'm like, Jesus. It's like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, we got 2 minutes left. Any closing statements?
well, pray for me. It was picture day at school today, and there was a full moon last night. So the kids are going to be uncomfortable because their parents put them in fancy clothes.
Did they still give them a comb?
And made them curl their hair and, put gunk in their hair that they're not used to. There are combs. I had my picture taken. That's why I was late, is because I went and had my picture taken.
I remember as a kid, you used to get a comb
Yep.
on picture day from the studio, right?
Yep. Yeah, little black foam.
Yeah.
They're little clear combs now.
Oh, they're clear.
And they don't have, it's not one for everybody, but they have them available if you want them. Like you don't just
the
get
lice
one.
thing in schools, they'd give everybody their own 2-cent comb.
No, but like I didn't need a comb, so I didn't take a comb. They just have them out on a table, so you can take them if you want one, but it's not just like, here, everybody gets a comb.
It was a big deal to come home with a comb.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the kids
Picture day.
the kids are going to be wild today.
My wife works at a church, and they have a school attached to it. So she gets a school picture done every year, and she gives it to me, and she goes, "Look, I'm in 49th grade."
Here's the school picture.
I know.
Well,
Well, I'm going to be on 3 pages of the yearbook
Wow,
because
aren't you special?
I'm in pre-K, 2nd, and 3rd. So I'll be.
I got the leg.
Sorry, yeah.
Leg,
You
leg.
know what that was?
That's
That's
fine.
He's like, stop talking. The
We're-
podcast is over.
We're moving on now,
we
Doug.
gotta hit
We're
the
moving
bar.
on.
We gotta
I need a bowl of beer and some chips.
Yeah,
Yes.
we gotta go to a restaurant.
does.
That's about it.
He always does.
All right, that is going to do it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.